The 603rd edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their brand new Pick 8. Sign up today with promo code MMA SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer of up to $250 in bonus cash. That's UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMA SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks with Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Heidi ho, degenerinos. Welcome to episode 603 of the MMA Gambling Podcast. The Sports Gambling Podcast Network continued to be dedicated to everyone who subscribes to our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button right now, and that means you get a dedication. The episode is dedicated to you. And if you're tired of me saying this, then keep subscribing, or actually do something interesting and or send me a compliment online somewhere, and then you will get an episode, because that's the easiest way to get one. Just say I'm funny, and I'll give you a dedicated episode to you. Simple as that. We are back. I'm one of your hosts, the almighty supreme leader, Jeff Fox, and we are covering Fury FC, a Texas-based promotion that basically it's not technically a feeder promotion for the UFC, but definitely a feeder promotion for Dana White Contender Series. A lot of fighters have come from this promotion on a Contender Series, and then after that, of course, some of them have made it to the UFC as well. So we're going to cover their event. It's not one of their Sunday ones. Usually they run every Sunday. This is a Friday one, which is fine. It's still not getting in the way of the UFC. And it's not a week from Friday. So basically 8 days out from when you're watching or hearing this, more than likely. So we're covering that, like I said, about a week early, because it's a quiet weekend with the holiday weekend going out. Actually, this episode dedicated to all you Americans as well. It's a special holiday for you, so Gumby can bill 2.5 times pay because he's working on July 4th. Happy 4th of July, Gumby Vreeland.
Thanks. Let's blow some things up.
We've discussed this in the past, years past. I asked, so that's what you guys do. You shoot things, you blow things up.
Yeah, cooking meat
and eat meat, right?
That's it.
Is that what you're doing today?
Yeah, that's probably it, really. Probably less of the exploding and shooting things, but definitely the cooking meat part. Yeah.
Yep. Avoiding people at all costs.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much me on every given day.
Yeah.
I don't talk to real people except for those of you in the Discord. You should get in on the Discord if you want to talk to me. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, unless you're one of my in-laws.
Oh boy. So no in-laws on July 4th then? You like your family though, so you'll hang out with your family, right?
Yeah. I'll find a way to see some of them. Yeah.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you for coming to the show, people. It's a Fury FC. That was a bunch of callbacks that we talked about Americans blowing stuff up and Gummy badmouth his in-laws, which that was basically what the first 300 episodes or so of the podcast. We talked about a lot of non-MMA stuff back in those days. Now we're talking MMA almost exclusively.
Back then we talked about the fact that my grandma was missing a finger.
And your grandpa was missing more than one finger, right? Yeah.
They combined for 17 fingers. Ask me about it in the Discord.
Yeah, it's true. That's another reason to get in the Discord. So that is those days are gone. Now we've dove headfirst into regional MMA. Because Gummy's really good at it, really good at making picks. Do you know where you're at this year approximately or overall?
Yeah, Invicta cost us a little bit. We slipped a little bit last week, but I saw we were up 11 units on the year, which is a pretty good run. And again, this isn't just cherry picking every single fight that I would like to bet on or would like to make picks on. Instead, it's taking, like the biggest fights of the week and giving a mandatory 1 unit pick on them.
Yep. Yeah, that's why me being up money on UFC is amazing as well, because it's every fight picking. I'm not just picking ones that are
on the money line, not even
on the money line. So I hit a plus a minus 1587 or whatever Peyton Talbot was last week. So fun times. It won't last because I've never ended a year up money in the UFC, but this is maybe close to the latest I've ever been up. So we'll keep that rolling. But no UFC this week. They will be back next week. This, as I said off top, this week is Fury FC. We have covered them in the past. We are covering them again. Going down in about 8 days. Fun promotion. They run at different times, which is a positive. Like usually it's Sunday afternoon. This one's Friday evening. And they're on UFC Fight Pass. So both of those are bonuses for us. All right, before we move on, make sure you check out the bosses on the latest episode of SGP Stories. It's out on our Patreon, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. The guys do a forensic files style, a deep dive on the Bobby Petrino motorcycle accident that cost him his job. So check that out. Also, make sure to check out the WNBA gambling podcast, as Tyrell and Scott have started out red hot with their locks. So check out that on YouTube and on the podcast catcher of your choice. And now let's head to Texas, shall we? So it's going down San Antonio, Texas. Fury FC 93, Esteves versus Walker. July the 12th. As I said, that's a Friday. This is a 6:30 p.m. Eastern time start, UFC Fight Pass. So all that. The Boeing Center at Techport in San Antonio is where it's happening. 23 bouts. So we'll break down 5 of them in depth, and then Gumby will give you bonus picks for all 18 of the other fights, right?
I got a couple extras.
A couple extra, fine.
A lot of those are AME fights and like pretty low level ones.
Yep. No, there's enough to choose from. So he will pick the best of the rest of the bunch after we finish this here part. All right, where are we starting off? That's
the weirdest fight possible.
Weirdest fight possible. Let me give you the info and Gumby will tell you why. It's a featherweight fight. Marcell Mickens from the United States of America, Azjavkhlan Baatar. Hopefully that's close, from Mongolia. Interesting. The Mongolian in Texas. All right. 3 5-minute rounds. We'll tell you about Baatar first. He's 8-8, 3 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out 1, submitted 5 times. 0-1 in Fury. He's lost 2 straight fights, both via submission. It's not one since April 2022. He's fought at bantamweight and lightweight. 2012 was his pro MMA debut. Mickens is a warlord. 3-1 with 1 submission. He's been knocked out 1 time. 3-0 in Fury. He did win his last fight. He went 3-0 in pro Muay Thai as well. He's a year younger and 8 inches taller than Baatar. Is that the weird fact there?
8
that
inches taller.
At bantamweight. He is 6'2".
And Baatar, for those of you who are bad at math, 5'6".
So a normal size for bantamweight, basically.
Yeah, 5'6". It is. I mean, he'd be a shorter bantamweight, period. But like that, it's gonna be weird looking because like Mickens is so tall and lanky. And like you said, he comes from a Muay Thai background. It's like very clear. The part that makes this fight so hard for me to pick, and I'm gonna say Mickens is gonna be a slight favorite. We'll say like -125 and like even money for Baatar. And I think it's the only based on the record, the fact that Baatar is 8-8 makes him look like a journeyman. He looks really good wrestling. He telegraphs his punches a little bit. They're fast, but like you kind of see what he's doing before he's about to do it. And obviously he's got no extension. He's got short arms for a guy who's 5'6". So like, how the hell is he going to get anywhere near the guy who's 6'2" and has a Muay Thai background? But that being said, wrestling, if he does get to the legs of Mickens, he'll take him down. What happens from there? Again, this is maybe why I'm taking Mickens at the end of the day. I don't know, because like there's a chance Mickens just never gets up, but also Baatar is, and I don't mean this no, I guess I do mean this in a derogatory way. He's really bad at jiu-jitsu. He's exceptionally bad at jiu-jitsu. In pretty much every fight I've seen him lose, somebody goes for a choke, and it almost looks like he's like, well, time for this to be over. And then like, just like extends his neck and lets himself be choked. In one of them, I think I feel so bad making this accusation now, but I've already started, so I'm going to finish it. I think he pretended to go out. I think he pretended to pass out in a fight. I don't think the choke was in long enough for him to actually go out. I think he was tired and the choke went in and he was like, I don't want to tap again. And I think he faked it. Because it was way too fast, and then he rolled over in like a really funny manner, and I was like, is he still out? He's not out at all. And so like, I think the fact that Mickens is going to have this wild size, wild reach advantage, and then if it does hit the ground, I don't trust Baatar to be able to do anything with it. I'm going to go with Mickens. I'd probably just stay away from this like freak show of a fight, period. But if Mickens comes in even money, or maybe even if he comes in as a dog, I'd dabble with him as a dog.
All right. Mickens is the pick here. None of that. He didn't mean any harm.
I keep saying I don't mean any harm, but like he is bad at jiu-jitsu.
There you go. Take that, Baatar. All right. We're moving on up the card, but down the weight class. We're going to flyweight now. Tyrell Hill, United States. Imanol Rodriguez from Mexico. 3 5-minute rounds, as per usual. Rodriguez is Hyman, Himan. 3-0. 2 knockouts, 1 submission. He's finished everyone. He owes his rounds. This is his Fury FC debut. He's 6 years younger than Hill. Hill is ace. He's 4-2 with 3 knockouts. He's been submitted 1 time. This is his Fury FC debut as well. He's won 2 straight fights. He used to fight at bantamweight, and he's 4 inches taller than Rodriguez.
You know how I feel about short kings.
Yep. Which one's the short king here? Rodriguez.
Imanol Rodriguez is only 5'2". He's a short king through and through. I can't quit him. I think he's going to be a favorite in this one. I'm going to say -200 even, and I still like him. Imanol Rodriguez comes from a boxing background. He's got like an absolute piston for a jab. Like, it's so refreshing to see like regional level fighters like this be able to like actually box. Not like learning how to piece their hands together while just being like a great wrestler. But I will also say I've seen a time or two where he's just like blasted a double, dropped his opponent on their back, and then stood right back up to just be like, I can do that if you want me to. And then proceeded to box the hell out of him. His last opponent, when he was done with him, looked, or no, maybe it was 2 opponents ago, just looked absolutely perplexed by the time the fight had stopped, because he was getting hit with stuff he had no idea was coming. And for Tyrell Hill, you know, I think he does some of the same stuff, but he just doesn't come from like a solid boxing background. I also don't think his wrestling's nearly as good as Imanol Rodriguez. He just doesn't come from that same kind of boxing background. He's a decent level boxer for this level of flyweight regional MMA. He's just not going to move as quick as Imanol Rodriguez. And the footwork on Rodriguez, the way he moves his body so that he can set up his power hand behind it, it's just like a thing of beauty. And I don't think that Hill's ready for that kind of competition. So give me Imanol Rodriguez, even at -200, or even if that creeps a little higher. I'm still in on this guy.
All right. Gumby, it's not learned yet about the short kings.
Short kings, believe in them.
He does know a lot about it. He does believe in Underdog Fantasy as well. Pick 8 is now live on Underdog Fantasy. You can create entries with up to 8 picks, and Underdog will automatically double flex entries so you can miss up to 2 picks and still win your entry. With more picks to make and extra ways to win, the excitement is higher than ever. The best part, you can win up to 325 times your original amount. You can now also use specials and boosts on all flex entries. Gumby, give us a play for Thursday. I need one for an article.
Give me, oh man, Thursday's tough because that's a short slate. Are the Pirates playing?
I don't know.
If the Pirates are playing on Thursday, and if not, take them on Friday. I'll take Brian Reynolds. He's been white hot lately. He just lost his 25-game hit streak, but he slugged like 660 throughout that hit streak, which means he's getting a lot of extra bases in there too. So I've been using a lot of Brian Reynolds as of late. So if they happen to be playing on Thursday, Brian Reynolds.
They're playing the Cardinals.
At good.
Home on Thursday.
Nobody on the Cardinals can hit. So
it's true. Reynolds has not had a hit in 2 straight games. I don't know how he did on July 3rd. I don't have that info in front of me. So, all right. So with that caveat, don't miss your chance to try it out before it is gone. That would be pick 8. So sign up with our code MMASGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. That's UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMASGPN. And let us not forget about Circa Sports. They are back with Circa Survivor and Circa Millions, giving away $16 million in the guaranteed prizes. Of course, Circa contests have no rake. My dog does not like rakes, apparently. Circa Millions, you can pick 5 NFL teams against the spread each week and compete for $6 million, or you can survive the NFL Gauntlet to claim the $10 million prize. Sign up in person at Circa Sports between now and September 7th and use a proxy to play from anywhere. We even have a deal with footballcontestproxy.com to save you $50 with promo code SGP. If you don't have a trip booked for Las Vegas yet before football, Ultimate Contest Weekend is a great time to go out. Hang with Ryan and Sean aka the bosses, and enjoy some of the open bar events at the greatest sportsbook in the world, August 22nd through the 24th. All righty, boys and girls, we're moving on in the Fury FC fight card here. We're going up the fight card to a lightweight fight. Third from the top, Devon Dixon from the United States versus Tedrick Macklin from the United States as well. 3 5-minute rounds at 155 pounds. Macklin is T-money, of course. He's 6-1 with 1 knockout, 4 submissions. 5-0 in Fury, won his last fight via submission. That was back in May of 2023. He's fight at welterweight, an inch taller than Dixon. Dixon is 6-1-1, 2 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been submitted 1 time. 1-0 in Fury. He's won 2 straight, both via submission. He's not lost since April of 2022, and he's used to fight at welterweight as well.
So I think Macklin is probably going to be a favorite based on his record and recent results. Obviously, Dixon's got just the 1 loss in there, but that's enough for people to think that the favorite is going to be the guy with an undefeated record. I'll say Dixon, not a huge dog, though, probably like plus 150. And I'm going to go with Devon Dixon here. If you watch Tedrick Macklin's fight against Nico Echeverry, which is, he's like a standard regional guy. He's like probably 13-8 or something like that. And Nico Echeverry put him up against the cage and really controlled him for a large portion of that fight. I don't think Macklin, if I'm remembering correctly, Macklin wound up winning that fight because he was just like the one landing the strikes and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Echeverry was controlling a lot of that position. And if he had done more damage, he probably would have been able to beat Macklin. And the thing is that like, that's what Devon Dixon is already good at. Devon Dixon puts people up against the cage. Devon Dixon controls people. Devon Dixon wears people out. And so for me, I've seen Macklin have trouble with guys who aren't as good as Devon Dixon. I've seen Devon Dixon did it to Richie Miranda, that's the guy who beat him, by the way, Richie Miranda. I saw him hold Richie Miranda up against the cage for large portions of that fight. And yeah, he didn't win it. And obviously Richie Miranda, huge talent, but like, I think he can use that game plan against Macklin to tire Macklin out. Macklin's had issues with cardio before, and I think Dixon's better than Echeverry at doing that. So give me Devon Dixon. I think this fight might wind up being a lot less fun to watch than a lot of fights on this card. But then again, when you're getting plus money, as I believe you'll get on Dixon here, and he's winning, there's never a bad time to watch.
How much plus are we getting again?
I said like plus 150. He's got like, so for a little while, he was like one of those quote unquote name brand prospects. He was like one of those guys. I want to say he's like Sanford MMA or something like that. He's one of those Florida gyms. And like for a while, those like whatever regional scene had him at any given time, even when he was an amateur, was like hyping him up as the next thing. He's got the look, big shoulders, looks like a guy who could be a UFC level fighter. So he'd been being hyped up for a while, and Richie Miranda kind of like spoiled that hype. So, I don't think, even though he's fighting an undefeated guy, I don't think that number will get too high.
All right. Very good. Very good. Let's go to the co-main event. Zack Borrego, United States of America. Logan Woods, United States as well. This is a middleweight fight, 3 5-minute rounds. Wood, one hit is the nickname. He's 4-1 with 4 knockouts. 4-1, 4 knockouts, and he's been submitted 1 time. This man knows his rounds. This is his Fury debut. He won his last fight via TKO. He's fought at light heavyweight, 8 years younger than Borrego. Borrego is the Dragon. 6-4 with 5 knockouts. He's been submitted once. 6-3 in Fury. He's won 2 of 3 and 2 of 5. He did lose his last fight. He went 0-1 in Contender Series. Missed weight on the show as well. Inch height, inch reach over Wood.
Do you remember who he lost to on Contender Series?
Yes. One of the it wasn't Joe Pfeiffer, was it? It was the other one.
Bo Nickel.
Bo Nickel, yes. I kind of grouped the two of those two guys together, but yes. Bo Nickel.
Yeah, it was Bo Nickel. Do you remember who he lost to in his last fight? Because
no,
it bummed me out real hard.
Oh yeah, because we've talked about him before, right?
Yeah, he lost to the Beverly Hills Ninja, Jordan Wright. And so you remember Jordan Wright in the UFC, right?
Yeah.
What was Jordan Wright? I mean, if anything, what was Jordan Wright good at?
Striking, getting beat.
Jordan Wright took this dude down like he was Habib for like 15 minutes. It was one of the most sickening things I've ever seen in my life. Just an absolute grind fest from Jordan Wright, and his cardio held up better. And for that reason, I'll never pick Zack Borrego again. I think he's probably going to be a dog in this fight anyway. Like Logan Wood, probably -140, -150 in that range. Wood, I think he could probably be a bigger favorite due to the record and like, the fact that he's got big knockouts. But if you catch a picture of this guy, and he did a good job picking his Tapology page because it's actually a pretty flattering picture. But if you've seen him in some of his fights, he's like kind of balding a little bit and like he's not cut at all. Like he just looks like a guy they found. And then he went he wound up getting knocked out by Ozzy Diaz, who's like a beast. But like, he went toe-to-toe with Ozzy Diaz for a while. I mean, he knocked out Adam Vigil, and Adam Vigil, I believe, is 9-1 in his career. And he just peppered him on the feet with like this like wide stance karate style, like stuffed enough of the takedowns against the big muscly Adam Vigil, and then just picked him apart and put him away. And like that's really, it's really incredible to watch how athletic he is, being that he doesn't look like an athletic guy. And then like Borrego, I almost feel like is the exact opposite. Like he looks like a guy, who might wind up on Contender Series, who might wind up putting together a big amateur career. And then like he got controlled by Jordan Wright, and it was like a colossal bummer. I think Woods, as long as he stuffs the takedowns here from Borrego, because I think Borrego will try to go for him. As long as he stuffs him, I think he's going to be 8 times the fighter on the feet. I also think the knockout power is really there. Don't look at like don't Google image a picture of Logan Woods and then say this guy's got no knockout power. Believe in what you see. This guy's kind of fun to watch. So I'm going to go Logan Woods, slight favorite.
Yes, Logan Woods is the pick. I think I called him Wood. Excuse me, Mr. Woods. All right, Logan Woods is the pick. Now we're going to our main event. It is a 3-5 rounds at featherweight. Lorram Esteves from Brazil versus Alfred Walker from the United States of America. Talk about Walker first. Freight Train is 12-7, 7 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted 5 times. This is his Fury debut. He's gone 3-1 over his last 4 and 6-2 over his last 8. Did lose his last fight. 1-1 in LFA. He's fought at 155. Regional champion, 2012 pro MMA debut, 5-1 in kickboxing, and a champion in that discipline. Esteves is 8-2 with 6 submissions, never been finished in a fight. 6-1 in Fury. He's won 3 straight and 6 of 7. He's not lost since May of 2022. 7 years younger than Walker, 2 inches taller than him. So kickboxer versus a grappler here.
Yeah, I think Esteves is actually, you say kickboxer versus grappler. I actually think Esteves is a better striker too, if I'm being completely honest. I think this will be -350 for 2 reasons. Number one, the record obviously looks a lot better on Esteves' size. Number two, Alfred Walker is filling in on late notice here. This fight was originally supposed to be Solo Hatley Jr. That would have been a much more fun fight for me to watch here because Esteves, I think, is just too fast for Walker. In addition to that, in his last 2 fights, Alfred Walker has had trouble with the wrestling twice. He fought Elijah Johns in his last fight, which is a legit fight, but obviously didn't go well for him. The fight before that, he did it kind of like outlast Landry Ward, who is a pretty good prospect in his own right. But Landry Ward got some takedowns early and worked a little bit of ground and pound. I think Esteves is going to be able to wrestle and shoot that takedown and work his jiu-jitsu if he wants. But even if he doesn't, I think he's much faster than Walker. I think he's got to worry about staying on the feet too long because he, maybe doesn't protect his chin as much as he should in some of the brawling situations. And Walker has been known to he swings it. That's kind of how he beat Landry Ward, is he just drew Landry Ward into a bloodbath. And he's the type of guy to withstand that, but I don't think he's the type of guy to withstand the grappling game that we see from Lorram Esteves. So I'm going to go Esteves. My guess, what did I break down? -350. Yeah, it's probably it. And that late notice will really cost Walker here, I think.
All right, let's recap quickly for you. Esteves, Wood, Dixon, Rodriguez, and Mickens are the picks. All right, before we get to the lightning round, let me tell you about Rhythm. If you're betting on player props, then you need to download Rhythm. Rhythm is the go-to sports betting tool that transforms complex data into actionable insights, empowering bettors with smarter, data-driven decisions. Unlike other platforms, Rhythm combines advanced predictive analytics with an intuitive user experience, making betting both easy and enjoyable. Rhythm's predictive models were born from the brains of MIT data scientists and quants, with over 3 years of data that help drive you to better AI-backed betting decisions. Rhythm projections have been red hot for WNBA and golf. So check it out. Claim your free 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. That's the catch. The RITHMM is the spelling. All right. We give you picks for his favorite 5 fights in the card. Now it's time for the lightning round. Crush, bang, boom. Gumby has some bonus picks for us. Go ahead.
So the first one I like is Dominique Herrera. He's going to be fighting Marquis Smith on the prelims. I think based on the record of the two guys, despite the experience advantage for Marquis Smith, I think you're going to see Herrera as a pretty big favorite. But on the off chance he doesn't come in as a huge favorite, he's a spot I really like here. If you watch his AME career, a lot of really good chokes. He finds them from interesting positions. Like he gets into on a guillotine that you don't think he's going to get in on, or he moves to the back and gets that arm under the neck really fast. So like, I think there's a good chance you see his jiu-jitsu take over, but also I think he's just kind of like a fun, well-rounded prospect. I want to say he's like 2-0 or something like that. So he's one that I really like. The other one I like is Dallas Dodd. He's going to be fighting Nick Lancaster. I actually was tooting the horn of Nick Lancaster the last time we did a lightning round for Fury. And I can't remember if it was directly in the Discord or through DM. Somebody was like, are you not worried about the fact that Nick Lancaster seems to not be able to wrestle? And I was like, no, I think he can wrestle a little bit, right? And then sure enough, he could not wrestle a lick. And then they put him up against Dallas Dodd here, who, you know, he won his first fight by ground and pound. It looks like he's got some pretty decent wrestling. You know, you got a guy who's, you know, I think Lancaster's 3-1 now that he lost his last fight. You got Dallas Dodd at 1-0. You might see some pretty good odds there on Dodd. And so, like, you know, maybe it's the same path to victory again. Maybe we just see a guy come in here, wrestle the hell out of him. And if that's the case, yeah, I'll take Dallas Dodd. So my 2 lightning round picks, I like Dallas Dodd. I like Dominique Herrera.
All right, there you go. Make sure you check us out on Discord. You can bug Gumby for even more picks if you want. That would be sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Also, you can check us out on Twitter. We're SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm a Jeff Fox writer. Of course, we are MMA Gambling Podcast on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe there. I am at Money MMA. Check at Substack. So moneymma.substack.com. You can check me out there. Gumby is at Top Turtle MMA Podcast. His other podcast. Tell the people who is on it this week.
We got Mansour Abdul Malik and Cody Steele right before their Contender Series fights.
So check it out. And of course, you can find most of our stuff, pretty much all of our stuff, and all of everybody else's stuff at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're going to be back on Sunday. Gumby will bid you farewell till then.
All right, I'm Dana Gibby Vreeland. He's Jeff J. Money Fox, and we will see you on Sunday.